What's up YouTube, and welcome to episode 7 to the local experience. Kind of just feels right that local experience episode 7 relates around the best level 7 monster in the entire game, in my opinion. That's going to be Dark Magician. So, it's another Genesys event this weekend. You've already seen a couple of the Dark Magician builds that I've put out there, being the Shining Sarcophagus version and being the Azamina version. So, today, what I've got to do is I've got to get the deck ready. This is the day before the local environment, is I've got to get the deck ready for Genesys. Now, I've built a list already. Now, straight away, quite simply, you take out all the links, goodbye links. You have to say goodbye to the good old fave of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because Red Eyes Dark Dragoon in Genesys is 100 points. So, very, very costly. I'm then going to get rid of the package for the Fallen and Virtuous, because the Fallen and Virtuous are 40 points apiece. And I'm not going to be able to play the Azamina package, because the Azamina package itself contains a huge amount of points. Luckily, the other package that I did play doesn't take like any points at all. So, when I look at it, I can play all 3 Shining Sarcophagus, all 3 Dark Magicians, Dark Magician Gale Stories, and the Dark Magician of Destruction with 0 point additions. So, they are 100% going in. Now it's really going to come down to what the points get assigned for. Now, when I look at the entire Dark Magician lineup that are relevant playing cards, the only cards that currently have points that will need to be utilised will be the Magician Souls. Like, there's no brainer. You have to play Magician Souls in the deck, and they will unfortunately take up some points. But at 15 points apiece, when you consider some of the other cards in like main deck archetypes are close to being like 33 points apiece, it can get a little bit crazy. So what I'm currently doing now is I'm taking out the Ash Blossoms and Joyous Springs, because Ash Blossoms and Joyous Springs are huge points. I'm also taking out the Dominus Impulses. I'm also taking out the Azamina package as well. However, the benefit of something like this is that you do get to utilise cards like, if you wanted to, the brand new Trap card, which is over to one side for me. There we go. I kind of tempted to play the Dark Magic Talisman, but I'm also quite tempted to play Dark Magician Girl and play, is it Magician's Salvation? Like, you could play it differently, which I think is really kind of cool. So, just trying to tidy this all up right now. I've got the list to the side, so I've got a reference point, but ultimately it pretty much stays relatively the same. Dark Magician Soulstone. Fool Loss is the other card that's going to take up points. Ready Fusion is 0 points, so that's like a no-brainer to me to be playing that card. I believe Preparation of Rites is points, and yeah, Preparation of Points is 5 points. It's not a lot, but honestly, the fact that it could be replaced with a third Illusion of Chaos, to me, I'm again like, I'll save those 5 points. Those 5 points could become invaluable. So I'm going to need to get my third Illusion of Chaos. So I'm going to get that out of my Dark Magician deck box. So this is my Dark Magician deck box that has pretty much all of my core Dark Magician cards in it, apart from some of the new ones that I'm still integrating. Speaking of which, I am also going to be playing the third Gaze of Timaeus, something to test out. I'm also going to need to use DD Crows. I'm just trying to find my third Gaze of Timaeus. Yes, I know Gaze of Timaeus is not going to be that easily accessible for everyone, because it's now hit the hype points. Everyone and their friendly neighbourhood Spider-Men are after Gaze of Timaeus. So Gaze of Timaeus went from a £30 card to a £60 card, which is absolutely mental. I was lucky to pick these up at £20 a piece, I believe, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to dive in and get them and do them, and you know, I've got it done and dusted. The other downside of the Genesys build is I'm possibly looking at playing 2 Dark Magician of Destruction, and I am also playing Dark Paladin. So I was able to pick up Dark Paladin for £22 as a Starlight Rare, and I was like, I don't mind the chibi artwork, and I actually quite like Dark Paladin. I still prefer the original artwork of Dark Paladin. I just think it looks incredible. But as I was putting the Genesys build together, I was like, okay, cool, well, I have to kind of get hold of, let's have a look how much the Dark Paladin was in Starlight Rare, and it was relatively cheaply. And then again, I was quite lucky. I was able to pick up my Dark Magician of Destruction, my second copy, quite cheaply in comparison. Like, there's a CR version on eBay. I chucked a bid in and was lucky enough to win that. So you roll with it. If you can get it, you go with it. So I have got lucky on that one. I'm trying to find a way where you don't need to play 3 gazes and you don't need to play 2 Dark Magician Destructions. And honestly, I think you can still do that. It will open up your extra deck a little bit more. But the fact that they are 0 points, it kind of just makes life a little bit easier for you. The other cards that I've been looking at to add into the extra deck is I've been looking at adding in Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon just as a level 12 synchro, because I think that in the Genesys version, I'm going to lean back into the synchro play with Magister's Chorozo. But the more and more that I've looked into it, the Magister's Chorozo is only going to unlock certain doors. And what I mean by that is it's only really going to get the benefit of being able to utilize stuff like FA Dawn Dragster, wherever I've put that. There we go. So FA Dawn Dragster to go into the extra deck. The other cards I was looking at, so I've got it up to 100 points. And the way that I've got it up to directly 100 points is that's 3 Magician Souls at 15 points apiece, 3 Mulchomi Furilosses at 7 points apiece, and then I've got 14 points in my side deck, being 2 Dragon's Mind, and then I've got 20 points in the extra deck, being the FA Dawn Dragster, just because I feel that you make the FA Dawn Dragster probably easier than Chaos Angel. But then the more and more I think about it, I'm like, actually, Chaos Angel might be a bit easier to make, and the Chaos Angel wouldn't need the Magister's Chorozo. So if I was to go, actually, instead of FA Dawn Dragster and the Magister's Chorozo, I go with these 2 here, Dark Paladin, Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. The Chaos Angel is the 20 points, and then I would go back to the Timaeus United Dragon, the Dark Magician, and the Master of Chaos. The Master of Chaos is going to be a little bit sketchy because it needs the... it's going to need another light monster, and it's not as easy to play light monsters in this build because you can't just turn one of your monsters into Artemis. So the other cards to consider, which I'm definitely going to be putting in here, they're basically just going to be other fusion targets for the Dark Magician package, or the Dark Magician, the Gaze of Timaeus, which is why it kind of means playing Gaze at 3 is not really the end of the world. Trying to see if they're all in here, which they should be, but you never know. So I want to play Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. I do think that's another nice option if I'm playing the Shining Sarcophagus package. Yeah, I can play more Shining Sarcophagus cards, so that's something that I might look into. I've got like 1 space left in the main deck, but I can make that more than 1 space if I want it to. And that can be something like Turn Silence, or consider I'm not worrying about Draw and Lockbird. There you go, there's the 3rd Illusion of Chaos. Because I'm not worrying about Draw and Lockbird as much, maybe I can get away with that. Magician's Combination, Dark Burning Magic, like all cards like that you could very easily utilise. I'm going to put that there. Okay, I'm going to have to find my other Dark Magician monsters, because I'm looking for Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic, because it just gives like all of my monsters piercing battle damage, which I think is pretty insane. So while I'm also at it, let's take some more Shining Sarcophagus cards. Let me just double check this one as well. Sarcophagus. I don't want to go too heavy on Shining Sarcophagus. Like Future Silence is 0 points, so that's like a no-brainer. And then you can also play, I think it's Turn Silence. Yeah, target face-on monster, you can try and increase its level by 3. If you activate this card in response to your opponent's monster's effect activation while you control Shining Sarcophagus, and a monster that mentions it, negate that opponent's effect during the damage calculation. If your monster mentions Shining Sarcophagus battles, maybe that leans into Shining Sarcophagus a little bit too much, but I definitely feel you could play Future Silence. I think Future Silence will give you that ability to increase your consistency to getting access. So you add a monster that mentions Shining Sarcophagus from the deck to the hand. Then if you activate it during the battle phase while you control Shining Sarcophagus and a monster that mentions it, each player draws until they have 6 cards in their hand. So at 0 points, I think it's kind of cool to utilise that. So, bar the missing DD Crows that I'll be putting in the main deck in a minute. Illusion of Chaos goes over there. These are all going to need to be re-sleeved. For the extra deck, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need this one now. 5. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the other card I was thinking about was Fusion Deployment as well. So if I don't lean into Magister's Torozo, I don't need to lean into the Synchros as much, which then means that I don't care about being fusion locked. So fusion deployment is also another consistency option for me. The only issue with that is it just gets you Dark Magician. You have to banish the Dark Magician to make your Dark Magician a destruction. I can't remember if Gaze... Field or Graveyard. Man, if Gaze did banish, whoa, you'd play Allure of Darkness in this deck all day long. Okay, so I've just got to try and get the rest of the deck together. So Dragon Mind. I need Cosmic Cyclones. I need Dark Royal No Mores. Pretty much, they're probably going to lean into my... yeah, there we go. Dark Royal No Mores. I could play Ultimate Slayers, actually, if I wanted to. 3 DD Crows in the main deck. I'm going with Cosmic Cyclone because I don't want to discard a lot of stuff. 3 Gamma Seals. Okay, kind of just zoom this out a little bit so you can see a bit more of the chaos. Okay, so like I said, this is the pre-setup. So this is where my mind is all in scatters all over the place. And I'm like, right, okay, how do I put this one together? How do I convert? How do I change? What do I want to use? Does this work? Does this not work? Da 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 da. So yeah, I'm going to continue to try and build this off camera. There we go. There's my rest of my Dark Magician cards. I could use Super Polymerization, but there just isn't enough free space to do so. The other synchros I consider with Magister's Torozo would be Chenyin and the Cursed Thunder God. But the Cursed Thunder God would be with level 7, so Dark Magician. And the other one would be with level 6s, which is only the Dark Magician girl, so probably not as beneficial. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to put the rest of these together off camera. I don't know, Ultimate Slayer opens up some doors. But, so I've got 3 here, so 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 being Cosmic Cyclone, and then it's like, what, 12, 13, 14 being the Ultimate Slayers instead of Skullmeisters. So it really comes down to like how effective do I think Skullmeisters are going to be. Okay, that's something to think about, I guess. Fine, so I'll have a look at the rest of the side deck. Ultimate Slayer would then fill up the rest of the side deck, I guess, because what am I on here? I'm on 11 here. So then 3 or 4 more Ultimate Slayer targets will tick the rest of the boxes, and then we get to build on from there. I can also shuffle a DD Crow into the side deck. But that would then mean me 1, 2... Let me just tidy this up for you guys as well. Tidy this up out of the way. So for the main deck at the moment, it would leave me with 1, 2, 3. I mean, maybe Full Loss just isn't needed. Maybe Full Loss opens up 21 points, but I don't know how important those 21 points are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, 10 seems kind of like a good number, right? 1/4 of the deck being Shrine of Sarcophagus. I think that's kind of fair. Magician Souls are the points, so Gaze is not points. Maybe I just play 2 Gaze instead, actually, rather than playing on 3. Full Loss is points, no points, no point, no point, no point, points, points. Oh, there you go, there's Magician Souls. Magician Souls snuck in there. So what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where am I? Oh yeah, I was like, where are my final 10 cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That can't be right because I added 2 cards. Oh yeah, because I took out the. I've taken out the trap card. But I do quite like it. Where are we? Dark Magic Talisman. You can activate this card the turn it was set by revealing a spellcaster monster in your hand. When a monster effect is activated in response to the card or effect activation of a card that mentions Dark Magician, negate that effect. And if you do, for the rest of the turn, negate the activated effects of monsters with the same original name. If you special summon Dark Magician while this card's in the grave, you get to pay 2,005 life points and set it. Maybe this is the last card that goes into the side deck. Or maybe I put it into the main deck. I don't know. That's what I want to test out. It's a card, one of the new cards I haven't had a chance to give a full run out for yet. And I kind of want to test that out and see how that goes. So maybe we'll see where that fits in. We'll finish off the extra deck and then kind of build on from there. Okay, so that'll be it for part number 1. Part number 2 is obviously going to be the duels as well. And then part number 3 will be the overall review of the deck, how it went, what kind of put it together, and if it worked or if it didn't work. So I will catch you all in a bit. Okay, so diving headfirst into this. This is round number 2. Round number 1, I was unfortunately late, so had to miss round number 1. But we can see that it's a Dark Magician mirror. So my opponent has Tamias United Dragon. I've got Chaos Angel and the Dark Magicians. The Tamias is up to 3,500, as is Chaos Angel, but Chaos Angel can't be destroyed by battle. So I'm pretty much able to go head on and clash that one. Then we're going to attack with the Dark Magicians for 2,800, and we're still in the battle phase, and this is basically trying to show you the power of Gaze of Tamias. Not that you kind of need any more refreshers of how good Gaze of Tamias is. But we're going to put a Dark Magician from the graveyard back into the deck. The benefit of this one is we can also trigger off the Dark Magicians to draw us a card. So go into Master of Chaos, and this is how you're going to get like 8,000 damage. Well, I think it's 8,000 damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 7,800 damage. But my opponent had already taken some damage. Then we're going to move into game 2. Now this is just to show that my opponent going second top decks hard, which I thought was quite funny. I was like, what? He's a very traditional Dark Magician player. So, something down to Mahad. I mean, like, Mahad's great in the deck because it's a light spellcaster, so it makes Chaos Angel that little bit better. But also, it's a spellcaster that all you need to do is activate a spell card, and then you can banish it for Dark Magician Destruction. So we're going to move quickly into game number 3. So this is just going to show you, like, quite an important play here. So he activates Cosmic Cyclone on my Soul Servant, which would banish it on resolution, which is quite annoying because I've got Dark Magician Girl, Magician's Apprentice, and Dark Magician Destruction, which is treated as Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl respectively. So I would have been able to draw 2, and one of them would have been the Gaze, which would have really helped me like advance the plays. But then we were doing the calculations, and we were like, so I've got Gandora, the Shining Sarcophagus, and that just got up. Even though my opponent paid 1,000 life points, it also got stronger by another 300 because he banished Soul Servant. So I was like, oh yeah, the Gandora is now stronger. So Dark Magician Girl, Magician's Apprentice is going to be on 2,300 because it gains 300 for every monster that mentions Shining Sarcophagus on the field. We've got Dark Magician of Destruction at 2,800, and then we're just doing the maths on the Gandora, and he was like, oh yeah, that's 7,200 damage, and I just paid the 1,000 for Cosmic Cyclone. But really, really kind of fun duel, that one. Really nice to be the mirror match as well. And it was nice to kind of face Chris as well. So it's like Chris kind of showed me a couple of different cards, and I was like, oh, why the hell was I not playing those? They make so much sense, like Dark Magic Attack. This one is just to show how my opponent Ras Fear Modes me. Yep, that's right, he Ras Fear Moded me. To be fair, I Kaiju'd him like twice, and he's going to Ras Fear Mode me in response. I'm like, yeah, that's fair enough. And then this is to show how I deal with Spirit. So this was like a really big grind game, and I was like, Dark Magician plus Magician's Rod into Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel banishes the Spirit, and then I've got Dark Magician. It's not the Dragon Knight, but it is Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic, which basically does piercing battle damage. Or like all my monsters do piercing battle damage, but then if it needed anything more, it basically also once one of my monsters destroys one of my opponent's monsters by battle, I can burn my opponent for the original attack. So Chaos Angel attacks Gameciel for 1,300, but then burns them for 22. So it's a 3,500 direct to the face. Dark Magician of Destruction attacks through the Shoyama for 1,300 damage, because obviously all my monsters get piercing. And then I've got the Magic Knight going in for the final damage. So it's 3,500 plus 13, so 4,700. And then it's the final 2,000, whatever it is. 2,900 on the Magic Knight. So just doing the maths in that one, and then going, I think, oh, maybe it wasn't enough for game. Maybe I needed to go into secrets. This is duel number 3. This is just to see like how incredibly powerful my opponent's Enfield was. So they just drew 10 off of super rejuvenation. They've attacked me. They missed up the OTK, but they've got the Dark one, which is a spell trap negator, which is really annoying with the spells that I want to start to use. They've got Zeus that can clear the field at any point. So it's like you'll use the spell and trap negation first, and you've also got Chasms, which is a replicate one of the dragon rulers. So it could become like a target destruction or anything else. So this is game 2. This is just to show like the end field that I couldn't break. So again, it's the spell and trap negator. It's the send and duplicate the dragon ruler's effect. And then they've got this other dragon monster, which is detach 2. Target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. And ultimately, with my hand, I can't really do anything. I'm pretty sure I drew like full loss for turn. And I'm like, bruh, really? So that's pretty much it for the duels. Very short, sweet, simple. We're going to come back to the lab, I guess. And yeah, go from there. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, so back from locals. It went okay, to be honest. So I ended up facing, so this is Dark Magician Genesys. As you can see by funky deck box, massive shout out. Yeah, what happened? I went 2-2. So I ended up facing, like round 1, I couldn't get there in time. So I got round 1 loss, which is fine. It's kind of just the part of it, just some of my trading pickups today as well. So I went, yeah, went 2-2. Round 1, I couldn't participate in. I was running late. Round 2, I was up against Dark Magician, so it was a Dark Magician mirror, which was actually really quite interesting because some of the cards they were playing, I was like, oh, damn, how have I not thought of those cards to play in Dark Magician? One of them being Dark Magic Attack. Like, why would I not play that? Like, it's its own searchable Harpy's Feather Duster. It's mad. So I'll be putting that in. They were on a Primite version rather than the Shining Sarcophagus version, so there's a couple of changes that I already want to make. Round 3 was up against Yugioh. It was actually really annoying because I got Ras Fear moded, and then I knew that like the way they play it, and I play them pretty much like every locals, which is silly, but they keep Spirit in the hand and summon Spirit down. So with this, I didn't have a Dragoon to negate it. So my only options was Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight, which would have destroyed it, or, which is what I found more value in this particular build, was getting Dark Magician of the Dragon Knight onto the field and then using Dark Magical Circle to banish. So, and then round 4 was up against Dragon Rulers, and I just played it really badly, but then they also did really well. Like, they played the deck inside and out and kind of just did it from there. Now, before I go through the main deck, so this is the deck that I was playing. I'm going to do an actual deck profile with updated changes for Genesys on Wednesday, but just kind of give you a bit of a lowdown as well. So for the side deck, it was pretty straightforward. Slayers, Kaijus, Dark Magic Talisman, never saw it, never needed it, never used it, but this will probably become Dark Magic Attack. Dark Rule No More, never used it, so this will change up as well. Cosmic Cyclone was actually really, really useful. And Dragon's Mind, I never used it because it was either a 2-0 and I was going to go second in game 2, or it was, again, a 2-0 but in the other person's favour, where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make them go first. The biggest change will be the extra deck. So you should always really be playing Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. You should always really be playing Sandwich if you're playing the Ready Fusion. I still really like the Dark Magicians. I actually undervalued this card. I didn't realise it was until the end of my next turn. So there was actually a U-Bell matchup where it couldn't be super polyed away, which was really important. So Chaos Angel, actually quite important, to be honest. There's a card, so the Mulching Full losses that I have in the main deck, I'm highly tempted to cut them out and free up 21 spots or 21 points. In doing so, I might then consider the Magister's Chorozo and then utilise the FA Dawn Dragster for a different option of like another negate. But actually Chaos Angel put in a lot of work for me. Dark Magician, the Knight of Dragon Magic, I made it once, but it's actually really kind of cool. Like, a lot of people forget how aggressive this is. Master of Chaos, I couldn't maximise its potential. So the idea would be is if I needed a little bit more of an additional attack to get the Master of Chaos, I would go into Master of Chaos and revive from the graveyard and then just attack and attack. Dark Paladin, made it once, but the idea is this is just like your spell negator for, like, without having Dragoon, this is your spell negator. So in Radiance, this could be like really, really good. Then we've got the 3 Ultimate Slayer targets, or actually 4 Ultimate Slayer targets: Garura, Aggregator, Golden Cloud Beast Malong, and then Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. This is basically just your as close to Elder Entity and Tiss as you can get without needing to use points. Then 1 Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. So you could utilise your Dark Magician Girl Magician's Apprentice because it becomes Dark Magician Girl on the field. And it's just really to have that discard and destroy, but never used it. And then finally, 2 Dark Magician of Destruction. I honestly still don't think you need 2, and I wouldn't be going out of my way to get 2 of these for Genesys specifically. I still think that 1 is enough. And if I wanted to add the Magister's Chorozo back in, which I might do on the updated build, is I would take out 1 Dark Magician of Destruction. I would put in the Magister's Chorozo, and then I would find space in the extra deck to add in, maybe take out the Dark Paladin for the FA Dawn Dragster, just to give you like another layer, which could be quite useful. So like I said, on Wednesday, I'll go into a bit more depth and detail over the updates and changes. For the main deck, nothing too out of the ordinary. So I'll just show you the Dark Magician cards themselves. So I was playing like 3 Gazes, 3 Illusion of Chaos, 3 Rods. I'll show you the Shining Sarcophagus stuff at the end, and then the cards that required points. So 3 Soul Servant, 3 Magician Souls. So this costs you points at 15 points apiece. There were times where I was like, maybe I could save myself 15 points and just play Souls at 2. But honestly, I think that would be wild to do so. Main deck in DD Crows, there were 0 points. Main deck in Ready Fusion, I think the card's crazy good. Obviously another 3rd Rod. So 2nd Illusion of Chaos, 2nd Rod, there we go. 2nd Dark Magician. I was playing 3 Gazes, but again, honestly, I don't think you need 3 Gazes. There's the 3 Illusion of Chaos, and the reason you can play 3 of these is because your Preparation of Rites is a 5. It requires 5 points. So maybe the argument is you take out a Magician's Souls and free up 15 points, and then use 5 of those points for a Preparation of Rites, because you don't need to worry about drawing Lockbird that much. And then maybe that frees up 10 points for something. Could be worth it. Dark Magical Circle, it's actually a lot more important in this particular build for Genesys, just because that target banish can be really, really annoying. But the only time it ever became an issue is when my opponent got rid of this. There's like no way of getting it back. And then there's the 3rd Gaze, Secrets of Dark Magic, and then the 3rd Magician's Rod. I feel you could probably play Gaze at 2. Again, quite like Dark Magician Destruction. It's just one of the ones that is 0 points at this moment in time, and then being able to kind of get access to it freely. It means that if your Dark Magician of Destruction does get interacted with, you can still make a play within reason. And then Crows and Ready Fusions are 0 points. The only other points in the main deck will be your 3 Mulchomi Fool Losses at 7 points apiece. Never saw it, or when I did see these, it was because I was going first, and I was like, this is just useless discard fodder. So these 7 points could probably very easily become 3 Nibirus, to be honest, and I think Nibiru would probably be a bit more effective in Genesys. So that might be something what I do, and then that frees up 3 points. I know it's not a huge amount, but maybe that opens up the door to other stuff. For the Shining Sarcophagus package, I was playing Future Silence, just to give me a bit more consistency to get to my Dark Magician Girl, Magician's Apprentice. And then I was playing the 1 Dark Magician and the 1 Gandora. You could arguably play Turn Silence if you wanted to, but the idea is I was just kind of maxing out this, or not maxing out, but increasing the access to this engine here. Because the idea is you've now got 5 Dark Magician Girl Magician's Apprentices. You've then technically got access to 8 Shining Sarcophagus, and then you've got an extender in Gandora, which actually put a lot of work in. Like Gandora Field Clear was crazy good. The Dark Magician was okay. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. Like, you kind of want to be able to go Dark Magician, Gandora, and then destroy your Dark Magician, but like you should never see these 2 cards in the hand. And at no point will you ever have Shining Sarcophagus with one of these in the hand and choose not to get into Dark Magician Go, I don't think. Like, maybe you go Shining Sarcophagus, and if you've got the Dark Magician, search out the Gandora, maybe. But I wouldn't play 3 of this or 3 of this or anything like that. Like, I think this ratio is kind of fine. So that's pretty much it for like a very, very baseline deck breakdown. I don't think you need Future Silence in Modern. I think it just opens up the ability to play more non-engine Modern, which is quite nice. And then I'm still testing between like the Azamina package and the Shining Sarcophagus package. I feel that the Azamina package is something I'm leaning towards more if I want to make this the most competitive way that it can be. And that's what I'm going to be looking into. So anyway, a short, sweet, simpler part for this one. Not going to go into huge amounts of depth because, like I said, I'm going to do an updated deck profile because there's quite a bit I want to change. So I'll do an updated Genesys profile for you all on Wednesday as well. Just kind of give you a bit of an idea. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.